Amid escalating tensions across the volatile Middle East, newly released satellite images have revealed renewed and suspicious activity at Iran's key nuclear sites, raising global alarms. Satellite imagery from Planet Labs PBC clearly showed significant movement and construction at the Natanz uranium enrichment site and the sprawling Isfahan nuclear complex. Both of these critical sites were heavily bombed and devastated by coordinated Israeli and US airstrikes during the intense 12-day war back in June 2025. The latest images depict newly constructed roofs hastily erected to cover extensively damaged buildings at both sensitive nuclear facilities. Experts speculate these roofs may be strategically designed to block overhead surveillance and effectively obscure on-the-ground operations from prying eyes. Analysts believe the protective coverings are likely intended to safely assess and salvage materials left behind in the rubble after the devastating strikes. This activity strongly indicates that substantial stocks of highly enriched uranium may have miraculously survived the intense bombardment unscathed. At Natanz, the main underground enrichment plant was functionally obliterated by precision strikes from US B-2 stealth bombers in the war. However, fresh satellite images confirm Iran completed a full roof over the ruined central structure by late December, shielding it from detection. Imagery also reveals extensive excavation work near Natanz, believed to mark the construction site of a secretive new nuclear facility underground. Before the war erupted, the IAEA reported Iran was using advanced centrifuges at Natanz to enrich uranium to dangerously high levels of up to 60% purity. At Isfahan, a similar large roof was swiftly built over heavily damaged structure directly linked to nuclear manufacturing operations and research. Iran has also significantly reinforced tunnels near Isfahan, a clear measure aimed at protecting valuable assets from future aerial attacks, experts note. Experts from multiple prestigious security institutes agree the primary goal appears to be recovering and repurposing any remaining usable nuclear assets. Separate satellite imagery further shows Iran is methodically rebuilding its ballistic missile infrastructure, expanding production capabilities. Together, these developments point to Iran quietly reconstituting its strategic nuclear and missile capabilities under the radar of international watchdogs. This flurry of activity comes as Iran faces intense international pressure following its deadly crackdown on widespread domestic protests rocking the regime. Donald Trump has repeatedly warned Tehran to urgently negotiate a comprehensive nuclear deal or brace for decisive military action against its facilities. On January 30th, Trump publicly stated that Iran would desperately seek to negotiate a nuclear deal precisely to avoid impending military action from the West.
We'll see how it all works out. They have to float someplace. They might as well float near Iran. But it's a rough situation going on. So I stopped 837 people, as you know, last week from being hung. They were going to hang 830. It was all set. And I'm looking at the people behind me. They're saying, what kind of racing's a lot nicer than that. They were going to hang 837 people, and I told them, if you do it, you're going to pay a price like nobody's ever paid before. And they pulled back. I appreciated that. But a lot of people are being killed, so we'll see what happens. I can say this, they do want to make a deal.
A follow-up, if Iran doesn't make a deal, is your plan to replicate there what you just did in Venezuela?
I don't want to say that. I don't want to talk about anything having to do with what I'm doing militarily, but we have a tremendously powerful fleet there. We have the most powerful ships in the world. We have the most powerful military by far in the world. We showed that on numerous occasions. I rebuilt the military in my term. If I didn't, I wouldn't, I think, be able to say that.
Trump has aggressively deployed a massive US armada steaming towards Iran, issuing stark warnings against any attempt to restart its prohibited nuclear program. Trump's broader Iran push reportedly targets outright regime change in Tehran, not just curbing nukes, as DropSite quoted a former US intel advisor.
25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest newsmakers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.